Hey guys, what's up? So I'm back with another video of full stack Python. So today we are going to jump into the very next lesson, which is basically Django. Django Django is going to be involved in almost everything that we are going to, you know, do from now on. So I thought that an introduction to Django would be really good. So in order to do so, we I have came up with a small presentation to actually make you understand what Django is basically. So this is the introductory part of Django. So after that we will make some application. We will start making application and learn about Django while we are doing it. So because I think that learning by doing is the best way to grasp anything. So I will start with that. So let's get started. So basically an introduction would be what Django is. So Django is basically MTV framework. Mostly we see MVC, but it is, we can say, MTV, which is Model Template and View Framework. Why is it so? Because there is no such thing as named as controller, no such thing actually termed as controller. So that's why the view is the part which actually acts as a controller for any Django application. Now template is the part which actually goes as a view, right? So you can say it like that: view is the controller actually, and T is the template which actually shows you what you are going to see. And model is, as usual as always, the model, right? In all MVC frameworks that you will see, so MVC model is going to stay the same. So what Django is basically used for, we can say, whenever you want to make applications which are going to have, where you don't want to have to work on a lot of in making a backend admin, or when you don't want to actually um, spend a lot of time in making boilerplates and everything. So in that case I will prefer Django. And the other thing is, whenever you want to make a full-blown application which actually can work perfectly, in the way like you can just run it and you just bootstrap it, you fire it up, and you can go ahead, move on with the development. So that's where we say Django comes into action. Django, basically, if we can say, majority of organization which do need the application which does have the boilerplates ready and don't want to spend a lot of time in working on making a whole system from scratch and all. So in that case they will prefer Django. So also the good thing about Django is it's basically used almost, it's loved by everyone in the Python community. Although the people do use Flask, but use case is different. Although Flask is also a great framework, but when you are using Django, what you are doing, you can actually use HTML, you can also use Bootstrap, and also if you want to integrate the other front-end frameworks like React or Vue.js, you can pretty much do it in Django, right? It is basically very easy to do so. So this being the first chapter of Django, and full stack Python. Actually, we are working on full stack Python. So this is we can say is the first milestone from where we will do, after which we will do a capstone project or a first project, which will be a to-do list. And if you haven't seen that, you can actually go to the very first video of full stack Python and see what is the to-do list that I'm talking about. And all other projects you can see, look into it. I have actually put almost everything over there, what to-do list we will be making. So before we jump, I wanted to give you an introduction on Django. So I have prepared a very small slideshow to actually show you how Django is, what Django is, how it actually works. So let's start. So first is how Django works. I misplaced it. Should not be this. It should be template. So what Django stack does have, so Django stack it's, let's say this is a Django stack. It consists of a model, a view, and a template, as we have discussed earlier. So without either of this, I mean, you can actually skip the template part, but in that case, it is preferred that you use Django REST framework. So you will have different model and view sets, and template can be handled by React, which will be outside your Django ecosystem, the whole Django ecosystem, right? So that's how Django stack looks like, right? So what model does, so let me give you an example how this whole thing basically works. So let's say I'm a user, right, and I am going to www website, open any website, and I hit a URL, right? This is a navigator, right? I hit a URL, and I hit a URL. Let's say I want to go to all the books that I have, right? So when I hit the URL, it will just go to view, right? It will, in the view is actually controller in my case, right? So view will see, okay, this is the URL, and it does have some sort of model being called, right? And whatever the model that I want to call, so that will provide me the basically the values, right? Or the outcome that we need, right? So view will check what view is called, or what template has to be processed, or what template is linked according to that URL, right? And then we have this particular view. This view will look for a model also, like what model has to be associated with this particular URL. And this is how it sees how the how what model should I call, and what template should I call. So in this case, like, let's say I have a URL, let me give you a quick example. So let's say I have a URL which is said /books, right? And in /books, I have defined I want to have a view which will actually render a template, right? A template which is a home template, right? So when a home template is actually called, right? So what will happen, the view will say, okay, this is the URL that you gave me, and in this URL, if I said I have home, so I have a home as an index, right? Or I have a home function, and I just want this home function to actually, go ahead and home actually call up. So for home, I have actually saved render a template. So I have for home, I have a template which is called home.html, right? So when I do have this template, what I will do, I'll list what I'm saying, okay, from for the view got something like /books, and the /books is in my code base is a home function which actually have home HTML as the template, right? So it will just go to the view will go to the function. Okay, home function is called for this particular URL. Okay, what does this URL have? This URL have the home.html. Okay, I will go to home.html. It will go to home.html and render the home.html and give it back to you. Okay, I have home.html and this is the template. Just go back and return it to the requester, whoever the requester is, right? So now I'll just wait. And then what happens when templates is rendered, the template view, whatever front end you are using, if you're using Django front end, good and fine, no problem, it will just return this template view, whatever it is in, and will send it to you, the user, right? So that's what actually how it works, right? Now moving on to the next thing is what view actually does. So I give you the brief about how this view thing works. So in what view actually does manages the data flow, and then it also handles the communication across applications. So whatever The communication has to be done with the URL, with the template, and the view with the database. It will be done by view. It will be handled by the view, and it will actually handle your get, post, and put responses accordingly, right? Whatever the response has to be given, right? So it will be handled by view. Okay, this is the response. Okay, I want this. Okay, this is get. Okay, this has to come from here, right? I get the get response. Okay, what view I have to use? This I have to use, or this template I have to give, right? So this is how get and post and put would work, and patch also, right? So this is what our view is. Now what models is, if you know databases, so all the database queries has to go in some form, like, and in Django we use ORM, object relationship, right? Or in mapper, so it will actually map your object relationships. So whatever you create will be as an object, it will be mapped, the relationships for the database will be mapped, and on the basis of those relationships it will actually go into the database and call that particular database, that mapped field, right? So models actually handles your fields, your field types, and also the relationships. So this is what model basically does. Now, so there also comes a point where when your models will have serializers also. So serializers is actually the part of Django REST framework. So when we will jump into Django REST, we will revisit this part and see serializers also, right? So fields, field types, and relationship. So there are a number of field types that you can use for Django. And in order, if you want to see what are field types are available and what are the data types that are available for Django, so you can just go for Django fields, field list, right? And so if you go here, you can go to the field reference, which is the official doc for Django reference, right? So it will just take a minute, right? So here are the field references you can get, and if you see on the right, it says whatever the column types are, like field types are, right? So in my case, the field types are here, right? Auto field, big integer, binary fields, char fields, and so on. So depending on what type of field you want to use, you can just look into this and check it out, right? There are some inbuilt fields, so you can do that and you can check it out and work on. So as soon as we move on with the application development, we will actually use these fields and see how it works, right? So you can actually refer to this URL and see what you want to have, where you're lacking, or something like that. You can just go here and see all the field types. So basically, if I go here, field types, it will just give me all the field types, right? So you can plug into any fields and see how you want to do, right? So that's how it is done, right? Now next thing is templates. So what templates are? Templates are basically the HTML handling. So whenever you want, your application wants to handle some application in HTML, sorry, or if you want to use some React, you want to use something else, so templates come in really handy. So whatever the user sees, in my case, if this is a template, right, this whole thing is template, this is what I'm seeing. So this is the user interface that is handled by template. And if you go through the LCLC, or software development life cycle of Django, so in that case you can call templates as the last step, because whatever you give, templates will show you up, right? Templates will be hit. So whatever data comes and goes through the templates, it will end up on the templates, right? And basically URL does plays a lot of a big role in this whole MVT pattern in whole Django application. So whatever the URL you are using, that will go into the Django, and that will actually decide what templates I have to give. But yes, URL is a path, is a navigation path. There you have to go and look for that URL, and that will just go to control views or controllers, and then go to models, get everything, whatever if needed, and then show you the models, show you the templates, right? So that's how basically this whole Django application works. Well, that's it from my side. And if you guys have any questions, do feel free to put into comment box. And also, if you like the video, hit like and share it with your friends, colleagues. The if you would share, that would be really nice of you, because I that would help my channel. If more views are there, more people will be able to reach out. And yes, so well, that's all from my side, and that's all for today's video. I will come up with the next video, and yes, we will learn some basic Django boilerplate with that in that video. And yes, stay tuned. I will see you next time. Till then, goodbye. Take care.